Hello, everybody. Like Lisa said, my name is Zach Cutright, and I'm a team leader on the retail team. I've actually been with SICK for going on 10 years now, 5 years in the factory automation world up in Detroit, and now I live out of Atlanta, and I'm in the logistics team, currently running the Walmart team. Without further ado, though, we're going to hop right into the master data analyzer and this new version that's all based on vision technology. So, what is master data? Master data is basically just attributes of any item that you may have in your distribution house or in any of your warehouses. It's the length, width, and height of an item, potentially a code, usually an LPN or some type of number that you use to track your items. We can do that through barcode reading, the weight of the item, and then also a color image. And then very importantly, additional properties that may be specific to your needs. And these can be input through a custom screen that we have on this device. These additional properties are usually extremely customizable to your exact needs based on whatever it is you're doing. So why do we care about master data? Better data equals better decisions. If we have the right information about the items that we're processing or using material handling processes on, we can make more efficient decisions. We can also reduce cost by maybe using a smaller package and less fill material based on whatever fulfillment needs we're doing. We can document that object for insurance cases later on in case that object gets lost. We can also reduce costs in fuel by actually knowing the proper weights for when we're doing bill of lading for shipping out these items. And then finally, just the digitalization of this data always matters. Having the proper data about the items in your processes is always important. So what makes up an MDA? This is a system that has already existed within the SICK architecture before, but we've recreated it to only use vision-based systems. So it's all based off of a Visionary S. This is a 3D snapshot technology camera, up to 1 megapixel standard resolution, stereo vision. So this is actually taking a true 3D snapshot of whatever we place on top of the scale down here. This is how we can produce the length, width, and height of the object. The lector seen here, number 2, is also hidden in this hood. Taking the 1D or 2D barcode. We have multiple options that we can use based on the type of MDA that you buy, based on the cost, whether or not you need a 1D or a 2D label read, and then also the resolution of that code. The third item is the SID. This is also the interface for the operator that's using the machine. This is our newest display. It's a nice 12-inch display. It's also a touch screen. This is also where they can input extra data after the barcode and the Visionary have done their job. The SIM is the brains of this machine. This is also what collates all the data, and we can run custom interfaces for off-putting the host message. So really any custom output that you would have as a need, we can do from a simple serial, TCP/IP, and then also custom HTTPS outputs as well. Pretty much the sky's the limit on this. Also cloud interfaces as well. Scale platform, we have 2 different options, a lower cost option that's not legal for trade, and then a legal for trade option as well. 2 different sizes on these as well based on the needs that you have. And then a high resolution camera. This just takes a nice snapshot of whatever product that we're doing the length and the width and the height on, as well as the weight. This is just good for records to make sure that whatever information we're associating to that image is actually the product that it should be associated to. It can also be used for downstream operations as well. And then finally, we have an optional handheld scanner. That's just in case maybe you have some hard applications where maybe you can't move the box to actually look at the code that activates the system. They can also use a handheld. So how does this system work? A change of view in the field of view of the Visionary starts the process. So the Visionary S sits up here in this hood and is always looking down at the scale. It's always seeing a gray image essentially, and then the second that you change that view, it activates the system. That activates the lector, which is looking for a code. This code is what we're going to reference and be the license plate for all the data that we put, so that we know in the host message what all this data is attributed to. After a successful code is read, the lector is deactivated and the object needs to be placed on the scale. This gives time for the scale to do its job, or weight is taken, obviously. During this time as well, the Visionary S is doing its job. It's taking a 3D snapshot to do the length, width, and height of the object. All of this is happening in less than a second. Final thing is a color image is taken by that 6 megapixel color camera. All of this then is collated by the SIM 2000, and any custom fields can also be input after this. This automatically pops up on the SID after all of these automatic processes are done. If you don't have the custom fields activated and set up, then it would just automatically send all of this information out as a host output. We can also save all of these data points on board the system and upload them at a later date. It's just really up to you as to how you want to utilize the system as to when we send out the message. Why use the MDA Vision? It's fast and reliable, and all of this can be done in less than a second. So you can get your length, your width, your height, and your weight all in less than a second. And there's really no extreme training needed. You could probably teach someone to use this system in less than 10 minutes. It's very intuitive and plug and play. Setup of this, it can probably be done in less than an hour, and training your employees to use it can be done extremely efficiently. It also reduces error. You don't have someone out there with a tape measure taking your length and your width and hoping that they're writing it down correctly. So the data that you're getting is very reliable. Has a very wide range on the object range as well that you can measure with this system. Same with the scale. And then finally, we did just get NTEP certification for the length, width, and height. The weight is just an LFT scale already. So all of these are legal for trade attributes that you can use if that's of use for you. Not a requirement. We sell versions that aren't legal for trade as well. So we're going to hop into a quick video that shows the operation of this system. So as you can see, he places the item on, the lector reads. That code is what we're going to use to reference all the data to. The scale takes a weight. Dimensions are taken by the Visionary S. An image is acquired by the 6 megapixel camera for reference later. This is the custom fields where he was adding extra information, and he's already on to another item. Smaller item, same thing. We can do non-cuboidal items. The legal for trade portion is only for cuboidal items. Shows a note. But as you can see, very, very fast. So the efficiencies in gathering this data are extremely quick. So this is a deeper dive into the interface. This is what the person who's using the device would actually see. Very nicely color coded as well. So on the left is the image that the lector sees. So this is verifying that we have read a code, that the process is starting. Here on the right is the image that the Visionary S that's doing the length, width, and height calculation sees. Once both of these boxes go green, that means that the data below has also been already captured. And then you can also see the weight here. So all green means good to go. If for some reason there was a hand like you see over here in the field of view of the Visionary, you would get a red box, which means that the Visionary S hasn't completed its measurements. So it's a very intuitive design and very easy to use. After the length, width, height, and weight have all been taken properly and you get those green boxes, if you do have this custom fields activated in your setup, it would automatically pop up. And what this allows the operator to do is to add more information and attributes about the object. So say that you want to know that this is a poly bag, or that it's a soft side, or maybe it's shrink wrapped. Maybe this is a crushable item or a non-crushable item. All of those pieces of information can be added. We can do up to 6 different fields on one screen, and each of those fields can be a different type. So they can actually type in what this item is. It can be a number. You can provide a list like it is here for a dangerous good. Is it a class 1 through 6? Is it fragile? Yes or no? All of this is highly customizable. And then all of these, depending on how you have the setup done, it requires or does not require the operator to enter this data. So if they need to move on to the next item quickly, they can just hit confirm and it goes right to it. Or if you want to make sure that they input the data, we can set it up so that they know that they have to do it. And then the third thing, we have another quick video here just showing how fast the system can be used. And then also the mobility here. So as an add-on item, we can sell batteries here that would run the MDA from a mobility perspective. We can also add in a Wi-Fi router. So in less than 30 seconds, he's grabbed items, done the length, width, height, and weight, and he can move on to his next job. So as you can see, less than a second, less than a minute, depending on your warehouse environment. So we offer this solution through 2 different ways. You can either buy it outright, or we also offer MDA as a service. This is a pretty cool service that we've started. It allows you to just purchase a number of SKUs that you would want us to come in and complete the service on. So you pay by the SKU number. So however many items you would want, we can offer this as a service. So you don't have to actually cover the labor or anything. It's a one-time charge, obviously, and then we provide all of the data back to you. Very customizable based on the number of SKUs that you have and the way that you want us to do the data. But it's a nice way, maybe if this is not a product that you need on a very regular basis, but maybe you want to update your databases every year. It's a lower cost option rather than maybe purchasing the product outright. So reach out to your local account manager for more information on this, but this is a service that we are offering for the MDA. So why use the MDA vision? It's a very efficient master data collection, very fast, reliable, less than a second. Reduced operating costs thanks to fast data acquisition, as you can see in the videos. You can take this data extremely fast, but still very reliably. Accurate results. Having data about the items that you're trying to have in your master data information, if they're not accurate because you're using a tape measure and you're just having somebody write it down, what good is the data if you don't know that it's accurate? No expert knowledge needed thanks to the intuitive design and plug-and-play functionality. Very quick and easy to teach operators and employees how to use this device. Individual applications, we can customize this based on your needs, especially from the output perspective. And then high system availability. These are very available devices thanks to your industrial components. These are all standard products that we have. We've just put them together into this nice turnkey solution. So very quick, but any questions?
Thank you, Zach. There is one question in the chat. This comes from Mike, and he says, can this be placed in between a conveyance or maybe a robot conveyance?
You could probably set this up to have the robot pick and place directly onto this, yes. From a in place on a conveyor, I guess you could have an in feed. We have DWS solutions that are for in motion, basically with where we're weighing in motion. This is all static. So operator just places it on top of it.
Awesome. Another question is can this unit be used for shipping in addition to master data gathering?
Absolutely. It is legal for trade. So any information that you get off of this, you could use for creating a shipping label. And with it being illegal for trade dimension, you know that it's an accurate length, width, height, and weight. So you're not going to get any chargebacks from your courier.
Awesome. Another question is does the cart, so that goes over bumps and maybe is on level ground, impact precision on the machine?
No, the scale will automatically reset itself, or it'll pop up an error message if it does need to be reset. But we designed the machine to be extremely mobile. The cart that you saw too is fully customizable. So based on your ergonomic needs or whatever the needs are within your warehouse environment, we can customize that cart as well.
Awesome. Those are all the questions I see. But if you have any more questions for Zach, I will share his information and as well as the recording after this webinar. But Zach, do you have any remaining words before I wrap this up?
Do we have the information on the poll?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so you can see it. If you go into the Slido, um, so the question is, why is master data important to you? And it looks like the top two options, well, actually the top option was more efficient subsequent processes, the number one
Yeah, so
option.
I mean, I would fully agree with everybody on that. I think for the early adopters that have already used our previous version of the MDA, the information that you can get out of this to better use downstream material handling is very clear. You've got to have good data up front to make good decisions downstream. So.
Great. So like I said, I'll share Zach's contact information, but thank you for all of our attendees for attending our short and sweet webinar today. And you can learn about our upcoming webinars by visiting SICK.com. So thank you and have a great day, everyone. Thanks,
Thank you.
Zach.